president. What a dick. If I told you no, you wouldn't believe me. You know what he's saying is, yes, of course I have.
Yeah.
If I told you no this morning, you wouldn't believe me. You know what I mean? Like,
hi, Marcus.
Morning.
I wouldn't believe you'd ever say no to me.
No. And I haven't. Hence the reason I have to smoke before I come.
I like you in the hat.
Oh, thank you.
That's he's wearing a wool cap.
Is that what it's called?
It's made of wool. It's a wool cap.
Oh, I thought you said Wu, like the Wu-Tang Clan, and I was like, am I very urban today?
No, just I don't. Usually we just see your hair, but it looks.
And what fun is that?
No.
You know what I mean?
Especially because he would have had to get up earlier to do something with it.
That's right.
Hey, look, I woke up at 6:25, just like my alarm said to do. It's plenty of time to eat, brush my teeth, and leave the house in this fancy wool cap.
He's got a good skull. He can get away with the wool cap.
Aw, you guys spoil me.
What did you have for breakfast?
He's having it right now.
This drink.
Is that really?
Yeah, this is basically what I had time.
What is
for.
it?
Oh, it's just a drink, you know, one of those ready to drink
Is it like a muscle milk? Or?
Well, no, it's just a like a milk with protein in it. Really.
Will it suffice you for breakfast?
I have 2 more in the car. It's gonna be a long morning.
It's hard for comedians when they have to come and do radio shows and try and be amusing. We're used to trying to,
right?
And I emphasize trying. We're used to trying to be amusing.
Yeah. Don't ask us to try to be amusing at 10 o'clock at night. It won't happen.
No, 10:01 a.m. Don't ask.
That's you're just off the clock.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, I don't think that it's necessarily hard. I think because most of us, it's just that most of us are late night people, and that's really what it comes down to.
Mm.
I you know what, I told myself last night, I said, I'm going to get to bed early. It was like 9:30. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna eat a little some dinner, take a quick shower, I'm gonna be in bed. 1:45. I don't know what. I didn't watch anything.
Shower.
I watched nothing. I just sat there. I don't even know what happened.
Play a video game?
No. It wasn't even something like that. It was just literally like, hey, it's 2 o'clock almost. I should probably go to sleep.
It's just the way the internal clock. You're so used to doing that.
Yeah, I did. I swallowed a clock, and that probably is the worst thing about it. It goes off. There's nothing I can do about it.
So what do you got? You got a big show coming up?
Yeah, you know what? It wasn't expected. Chris Kattan was supposed to be here this weekend, and he had a gig that came up, like a movie or something, and I don't have those. I don't have those movies that just pop up. So no, I was supposed to
court dates
or court dates. No, but I was supposed to be here in a couple weeks. I was going to split a weekend with Rob Schneider. He's going to be here on the 13th, and I was going to do. And Keith called me and said, "Hey, do you want to step up?" So I was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's see. We have 4 days. Let's see if people we can get the word out." So yeah, I'm doing West Valley this weekend. Tonight and tomorrow, 2 shows both nights. Guy's going to be there. Andy Gold, another great local comic. We're going to do music, comedy. We're going to try to do like 4 different shows every time.
Really?
Yeah, like just bring different sets, bring different music, and just really have fun since it was kind of something that was last minute. So we're going to have a lot of fun.
When you so I don't know how often you try to develop a new show. Mm-hmm. You do it very often, or I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You've got a sort of a set that you do, and you'll do that for a certain period of time, and then you say, okay, I really need to do a new set.
You know what? I'm always doing it. To be honest, I have. I've really now that I've done it for so long, I've kind of broken my set down to like a science, and so you kind of look at it and you go, okay, these are the broad sections of what I talk about. I talk about here's something about marriage, here's something about age, here's something about this, and then you kind of look at it closer and go, well, here's a new joke that has to do with this. Well, it's kind of after marriage, but it's before this, so it goes here, and then you kind of and then you're like, well, I can take this out, and so as you're going, it's kind of evolving, and I would say every year or so, without even realizing it, you kind of turn stuff over. But there's been times when I've had to say, like, I'm not telling this joke again. Yeah. Because I know it's going to be good. Like it's not a, you know what I mean? Like it gets a laugh. I get it. We'll bust that out when I need it. But
I was really impressed with, and it's people don't understand a lot of times what hard work it is to do what you do, and you develop this set, and then in a way it's like doing it's kind of like an actor having to do a play,
A monologue.
over and over again,
And have it sound
and
fresh.
have it sound fresh.
Yeah.
That's like an actor who does a long run on Broadway or
Right.
something. You got to make it. But I was really impressed at how, and it came home to me how hard comedians work. Jerry Seinfeld, and it was an article I was reading about him somewhere, and it talked about him, how he tried things out, and he has these yellow pads, legal pads.
I saw that live. Well, he had that documentary, Comedian,
Yeah,
which was
I
about
didn't
him
see
developing
that.
great documentary. But when a few years back, I got an opportunity to headline Gotham in New York.
Uh-huh.
My agent was there. It was a killer night, and I mean, I was on stage. I was getting ready to go on. There was like 2 or 3 openers, so it's about 30 minutes into the show, and I'm kind of, all right, here's my time.
Mm-hmm.
And the club owner ran up and he goes, hey, do you mind if like if you go on a little later, Jerry Seinfeld just pulled up. He wants to try some stuff. Do you mind if he does like 30,
Wow.
45? And I was like, yeah.
Don't you know
fine.
who I am?
And he came in very nice, and it was he was working on some stuff that he was going to do on Leno, and he literally comes in, just pulls up. It was so funny. He pulled up front, and they actually pulled out cones and just put him around his car, just let him park in the street, and he comes in and he pulls out his little yellow notepad and he sets it on the stool and he looks at it and he goes, okay guys, I'm working on some stuff, here we go, let's try this. Golfing, all right, we're gonna go. And he does the stuff, and as he's doing it, he goes, all right, then, well, I guess that's good. And he makes a note, and it was amazing because that was one of those moments where, to me, it was an aha moment, and you went, okay, here's the guy that, I mean, a lot of people could argue this dude is the top. He has no reason to leave his house. He could just lay on money forever and never move. And he's out there with a yellow pad trying jokes that he just wrote because it's in him.
Has to do it.
It's in, and then later that night, I mean, I sound like I'm name dropping, but it was just for the experience of it. Later that night, we went over to the Comedy Cellar, and in an hour, I saw Chris Rock, Louis C.K., Dave Attell, Jeff Ross, John Mayer showed up and went up on stage and tried 30 minutes of comedy. Like, they all just went in, and I mean, Dave Attell, here's a guy who any comedian like me would just die to be Dave Attell. And he's out there on the steps, just pacing, waiting for his set, waiting for his 20 minutes. And you realize that when the people at the top are that hungry, like, you can never stop writing, developing, or doing it. Getting on stage, hustling. It's crazy.
They showed pictures of Seinfeld's notepad, and I mean, he's circling words. And going,
Take that word.
that word has to come out. I got to find a different word.
That's
It's
a
just-
legitimate thing.
It
is.
When we did Last Comic, there were like copyright issues. So there was one guy whose joke, his punchline was Red Bull, right? Red Bull.
And you can't do that.
He couldn't say it, so they had to change it to energy drink, and he couldn't
It's
tell the
not
joke.
the same.
He went energy drink, and there was just that little fluctuation in sound, ending on a different consonant. I mean, you get to a point where you're like, 11 words is funny, 9 words is killer.
Yeah.
You
There's
know,
it's what
weird.
was it, the Sunshine Boys? Remember that old Neil Simon play? And the two old vaudeville comedians, and they're talking about words that start with a K are funny.
Right.
Well, it's,
Go back and watch. I tell every comedian, you want to be good, you want to be fast, go back and watch Groucho Marx. That guy was like Eminem. Eminem will take 8 bars of rap and he'll put 46 rhymes in there. He'll rhyme on the inside, he'll rhyme here, and that's what we do. We're telling a broad joke, but there's a tag here, and there's a punch here, and there's a pause here, and I can fit in a joke before I get to the punchline. And you'd hear Groucho Marx, you'd be laughing, you'd miss 4 jokes by the time you got to the end. You got to prepare for your old life, which we hear any time now. I see you bending over a stove. Problem is, I can't see the stove. And you're going, oh my God, this guy is it's killer. And
what he was doing in my pajamas.
I'll never know. Right. We were sitting on the porch smoking meat. There wasn't a cigar store in the valley. We tried to get some pictures of the young native girls, but they weren't developed. So I'm going back when the girls develop. And you just go through it, and it's just
That is great
it's
stuff.
so
It is
good.
great.
Yeah, and you just. There's those great, nice, long stories that you can tell. Those, like the Cosbys and the Louis C.K. where you get, but you also have those nice riffs where you're just kind of on one, and that's where those moments are born.
There's a new Last Comic Standing, right?
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
Is it started?
It started Thursday. Yeah.
And how are you? Will you watch it?
I haven't watched it. It's on my DVR, but I just think it's awesome. I hope that it's successful. I know they changed the formula, and I think it's great for comics, but I don't think it's great for TV. I think.
What's the difference?
Well, in my season was the last season where they lived in a house and we all did silly challenges. And today we're going to Bed Bath & Beyond. We're doing the thing for Carrot Top.
Yeah.
And as much as comedians don't like that, as much as it's silly for us to have to go and do this silly challenge, America likes that. America, as much as those 100 comics that are on there, and I know some of them, they're amazing comedians. But the thing is, I think America's like, I don't want to just tune in to watch an open mic of 3 minutes, guys I've never heard of. And you're like, no, you should. These guys are incredible comedians, but they would rather see people do silly stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things where it's kind of a double-edged sword. You're putting a lot of great comics on TV and you're letting them do great material for 3 minutes, but most of the public doesn't realize that that's how comedy starts. They're going, oh, well, where's his half an hour? Where's his album? Where's his HBO special? Well, we don't all get that.
Yeah.
And when we do get our break, like a Conan or a Fallon, it is just 3 minutes.
You want to stick around?
I'll hang out, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have another comic come in here in a minute and introduce the boner of the day. But Marcus at Wise Guys in West Valley tonight
And tomorrow.
is it 4 shows?
4 shows, yeah,
shows
7:30,
each night.
9:30.
Yeah.
So WiseGuysComedy.com and you'll see people how they do their stuff. So Guy Seidel is a funny guy.
Oh, he's so good. Yeah, and Andy Gold is going to be there. Steve Solberg actually is going to drop into and do a set. So there's going to be a lot of great local comics, and I know we're all kind of in building phase, so you're going to hear a lot of new stuff.
Okay.
WiseGuysComedy.com.
Yep.
All right.
Hang
Boner
on.
of the day after these. What are our